participant. For a menu of available commands, press *#.
Recording going. Hello. Hi, did someone just join? Hello. Oh, sorry. You know what? That was the recording dialing in from the Smart Cloud. It joins as a participant. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. No problem. Hello.
Hey, this is Kumar from Piedmont Healthcare.
Hi, Kumar.
Hey, Sarah, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you, sir.
Sorry about the number. There was a problem at the other end, so we quickly jumped onto my number just so that we could...
Sure, no problem. I was calling that number and they asked me you haven't reserved it, and then I saw this new email. So.
Yeah, I've got the email here where it was reserved, and so I'm going to deal with that after the call anyway.
Sure.
Thank you for joining.
No problem, thank you.
Okay, everyone. So welcome to our July council call. As quite a few minutes have gone past already, and I'm going to kind of cover my charts at the end, but I'm going to hand over to Matt Berry. Matt is the Vice President of IBM Marketing for CS&I, and Matt now looks after the TUC, so the TUC comes under Matt. So feel free to ask any questions of Matt today. I told him that you guys, like to be open and honest and kind of talk on these calls. So any questions, ask Matt, and I'll hand over to you, Matt.
Great. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, everyone, for joining today and taking time to speak with us. So I'm going to just give you a little bit of background about myself and then give you a quick overview of where we are from a marketing perspective, some of the things that we've achieved in the first half of the year, and some of the priorities for the second half of the year. But I would very much appreciate whether it's during the conversation today or after, or feel free to send me a note or reach out anytime with feedback or ideas. And this is, I see huge value in being able to spend some time with all of you, both as a group and individually, and would welcome the opportunity to do both. So for a little bit of background about myself, and part of the reason I really have tremendous appreciation for these types of communities and the value that you bring to IBM and to me personally in my job and being able to be successful the way we market is, a few jobs ago at IBM I was in the WebSphere brand, and as part of that role, similar had close interaction with the WebSphere user group, our board of advisors, the Champions program, and it was pretty eye-opening over the course of 2 years and going through 2 years of the Impact Conference, the huge value that all of you bring to IBM. And I understand coming into this job, I joined in January, and I was, a little upset, and Sarah knows, to hear that it sounds like, to a certain degree, we haven't necessarily maintained our end of the bargain, and that's our loss. So over the last year or so, I guess there hasn't been as much interaction, I would say, with the executive team in CNSI, and even though we still bounce back and forth and we can have that conversation about Tivoli versus cloud and smarter infrastructure, I'll be referring to us as CNSI, but I don't take offense to Tivoli. But I do see tremendous value, and I hope, from here moving forward that, I really value everything that you do for IBM, and I hope that we could, from here on out, have a good working relationship, and the past is the past. But if there are, issues or things that you either would like to have addressed or at least to get off your mind, you could always come shout at me or just have a conversation. So just a little bit more about my background. I just want you guys to understand a little bit about where I'm coming from. And so my first 10 plus years at IBM, I was really on the media relations side, so public relations, working with the press. I started in IBM Research, worked in just about every IBM software group brand, including Tivoli. So I was in the Tivoli brand as the PR manager about 6 or 7 years ago, roughly, around the time of the MRO and Maximo acquisition. So pretty familiar with the portfolio, although when I coming back 6 or 7 years later, there are certainly some new things, and both through acquisitions and just the innovative work the team's been doing, but somewhat familiar. And I tell people that my career at IBM really started to take off right after that MRO acquisition, because as the PR manager, I started doing a lot of press releases, announcements about all the great clients that we had using Maximo solutions, and it caught the eye of a team at corporate, and John Iwata, who's our SVP of Marketing and Communications, tells a story of, I didn't know John at the time, but he was going on a business trip, and someone had told him about all these great, interesting client stories and announcements that all seemed to have this product Maximo in them. So he was going on a long business trip. He asked someone to print out, as many of these case studies that you could track down, and he took them on the plane, and the story goes he was kind of flipping through, and he kept seeing this pattern of, all different industries, but where, there were things that were instrumented, and we were able to, extract data and insights from that, and, predict when things are going to break before they break, and it ends up that from there, John started writing what was the beginning of the Smarter Planet campaign, and so I felt like it was an interesting place to be at the time. And I from the job in Tivoli went to corporate for 3 months to help the team put together some of the basic statistics and storyline for the Smarter Planet campaign. So that was an exciting opportunity. And from there, I actually had an opportunity for 18 months to work alongside John Iwata as his executive assistant, which was a great experience. And then coming out of that was where my career took a turn to marketing. And so, John at the time, a few years prior, had taken on the marketing function in addition to communications. And I had spent those 18 months alongside of him really learning about the marketing function. So from there, the job in WebSphere, from WebSphere to our mobile marketing team, and then here I am in CNSI since January of this year. So with that, enough about me. I want to get into some of the priorities and key things that we're thinking about now as we look to the second half of the year. I mentioned that I talk about some of our highlights from the first half, and I'll weave those in here along the way, and I think a lot of it has set us up for what should be a really exciting second half of the year. And, speaking with Sarah and even a few months back, I was saying that I had a feeling that this would be a good time of year to be providing an update to all of you because, first half of the year between Pulse and some key product announcements and our whole move to SaaS, it's been a lot of work internally to get our marketing aligned to some of the key plays that IBM is running, and I'll talk a little bit about some of those, and really shifting our focus to this, SaaS world, which is, from a marketing perspective, very, very different, and, it's been, quite challenging, also exciting to be part of that. So just looking at some of the priorities in these circles along the top, the first one about extending reach and leadership with digital marketing. This is, kind of one of the largest priorities across, IBM as we move more and more into a cloud-enabled world and moving very much into providing SaaS solutions where we've traditionally provided on-prem solutions and now bridging both worlds. So digital marketing in the form of our websites, our webcasts, and then how do you really extend that through social media and allow people to come in and essentially do everything from learn about IBM solutions to install and try them, be able to interact with a live human being through some kind of live chat, right through to swiping a credit card and making a purchase. And this is a massive shift for IBM across the board, and we know we need to move very quickly. You know, our competitors are really good at this. Some of them have been taking away market share for quite some time from us, and you know, we're well aware, and we are doing some very bold and aggressive things behind the scenes to, I would say, quickly catch up and try to surpass what they've been doing. So I'll be showing you a little bit of that. Leading with client examples, you know, I hope that you all realize how important this is, that as much as IBM could talk about things like, you know, Gartner Magic Quadrants and, you know, other rankings, there's nothing more powerful than being able to have a client, you know, talk about their experience with IBM, the value that they see in our solutions and our expertise, and what those outcomes are that they're seeing. And so that's been a massive focus. In my two previous roles, so WebSphere and then with the Mobile First team, I always, even if I had to create the roles, would have several members of my team just focusing on this piece of it. And on the Mobile First team, I called them our client advocacy team, and the idea was, you know, there were three of them, and day in, day out, whether it's working, you know, through our sales team or directly with clients who they have relationships with, but to really get to know our clients, and not just so we could call on them for favors, but to really understand their issues, their challenges, and almost more of a concierge of being able to, you know, help them navigate through IBM. And yes, in return, we're hoping that they'll support us when needed, but it's very much about, you know, the best way for us to really learn how our solutions are working and even how our marketing is impacting the industry is to be talking to clients. And it's something that I try to do quite often, and I encourage my teams to do as well. This aligned with partners, I think this one was one of the more eye-opening things for me when I joined the team here is, you know, in just about any job in IBM, you know there's going to be a channel business partner element to it, and in a lot of cases it's a bit secondary. It's, you know, kind of you're thinking about the client, you're thinking if you're marketing about reaching your target audience. Over the first 6 months in this role, I've realized just how critical it is for us to think about our business partners just as we do clients, and building those relationships, and especially in you know, certain product segments like storage. You know, we live and die by their success, and so I've been spending a lot of time with our channel team and with our channel marketing team, and hoping to do some new and exciting things in that area. And then this Activate IBM's Capture Emerging Opportunities, this is where I'll spend a little bit of time today talking through things like the focus IBM has on cloud, no surprise, and mobile, big data. And one of the reasons I've been really excited, you know, coming into this role and working in CNSI is, you know, we sit at the intersection of a lot of these key, you know, categories, as we call them at IBM, where we have marketing teams that are talking about cloud, big picture all day, and TV advertisements. But when it comes down to it, if we're not selling products, it doesn't matter, and we won't have money to fund TV advertisements and those things. So being kind of the feet on the street and where the action really needs to happen is pretty exciting, and I'm trying to, you know, get our team excited about that, and everyone who's involved and touches CNSI, our clients, you know, that we're really we've been talking about a lot of the things like visibility, control, and automation for years now, and it's pretty funny to see it now coming back. There's new TV advertisements, at least I believe in North America only for now, but print advertisements that will be, I believe, in key markets around the world that are really going to be going back to some of our basic points. Might not necessarily call out visibility control and automation. Some may actually. But the point is, I think a lot of the vision that has come from this organization for the past few years is really starting to take hold at a corporate level, which is exciting. So down below here are just some of the things that more tactically we're looking at. I think that we've shied away a little bit our numbers in terms of the number of third-party smaller IBM events too in local markets has been down year to year, and I think that was part of our shift to doing more digital marketing. What we've seen actually though that's been it's been hurting us a bit. In all honesty, people at least in the marketing world, people feel like this, who needs face-to-face events anymore? You could just reach people through digital marketing. We actually have been finding that we historically get higher quality leads and better interaction, better feedback at live events. So there's still huge value in being able to meet face-to-face. And at the end, I'll be talking a little bit about the evolution of Pulse, and I know it's a hot topic, and I'll try to answer any questions you have about that. We are trying to do more with digital as well, so dialing up both areas. So we're starting to do these weekly webcasts. Hopefully some of you are seeing those promoted through the Tivoli community. And then I mentioned this alignment to some of our bigger plays. So with that, I'm going to get into a little bit about the two of the big IBM category plays, mobile and cloud. So first one, mobile. I joined coming over from the mobile first team. For those of you who don't know much about IBM's mobile push last year around the February timeframe, so 2013, we announced IBM Mobile First. It was really bringing together all the mobile solutions from across IBM into a single family or brand. We didn't rebrand every product within that portfolio, so things like WorkLight are still called WorkLight. But I think it's starting to gain more and more momentum. I was excited coming over here, just 1 month after the FiberLink acquisition. In fact, I'm at today with Deepak and the leadership team, spending the day talking to the FiberLink team about their first 6 months as part of IBM and how things are going, where there are areas we can improve. But it's an exciting space. They are real experts in digital marketing, and we've learned a tremendous amount from them, not just CNSI, but actually all of IBM. We've been spending time, the corporate team has been spending time with FiberLink, understanding their model and how we could scale that more broadly across IBM. IBM is actually, we're using FiberLink, so on my iPhone I have MES 360, and you can see here 15,000 onboards the first day that it was announced. Last I checked, we were up to about 75,000. I'm not sure where we are today. And I tell people, usually I get a notice, you have to install this, and I'll wait until the very last moment. I'm afraid to do anything. And people started telling me, you wouldn't believe how easy it is. You press 2 buttons, and 3 minutes later it's done. And it really was that easy, which was surprising, but also nice to see. And then I'd like to call your attention on the bottom here. For those of you who haven't seen this yet, this was just announced yesterday. I was just watching the news here in the United States, and this story was everywhere. So a major announcement yesterday with Apple. You could read all about it, or you can, there's plenty of videos. If you go to the IBM website for mobile especially, they did a tremendous job. You go there, and it's actually, you could sign up for these executive briefings that they're going to be having around the world. And I watched some of these videos with Ginny, talking about what this means for IBM's business, Apple's business, our mobile business, and it's pretty amazing to see these two companies coming together. And essentially, this is Apple's way of trying to get more and more into the enterprise. And for us, having the association with Apple, I think is going to be tremendous. So that's exciting. And once I wrap up, if you have questions, we could come back to this for sure. And now just a bit on cloud, and I'll try to make my way fairly quickly through this. So, you know, there's been a massive push around cloud for the past several years, and I think that we've started to see over the first half of this year, IBM make some moves that are really starting to accelerate our way into the market, and I think there's now more concrete examples than we've had, you know, in the last 2, 3, 4 years combined of where we're starting to penetrate specific areas of the market. And so the IBM Cloud Marketplace announced earlier this year. If you haven't seen it, I'd encourage you to go take a look. And it's essentially a way of bringing together all of IBM's cloud offerings. It's organized by role, so biz, development, operations. The idea is just like many of our competitors, you could go in and learn about some of these solutions. You can try them out for free. You can purchase them right here. You could connect with business partners, are able to introduce some of their solutions here. So exciting move into the market. I'd have to check the latest numbers, but I know month to month the number of solutions on the marketplace has been rising pretty impressively. And you know, we certainly play a big part in the operations piece here, and so if I go forward, you'll see a little bit more there. So what I tried to do here is just give you a quick kind of click through, but again, I would encourage you, if you haven't, to take a look and navigate around yourself. And so if this was clicking through the operations role, you'll see some of the solutions on the next page. When I get there, here's just one piece on performance management. You can see the live demos and 30-day trial. Even the style of the website is trying to be different than, you know, your typical IBM website, and trying to appeal to a different audience, and that's very much through our messaging, through the look and feel of our website, through our demos, videos. It's all starting to take on a different feel, which is intentional. Here are some of the actual services that we saw, the solutions that we actually offer. So we have a set of solutions that we announced at Pulse. We've added to that throughout the year, and in the second half of the year, we'll continue to add solutions like storage analytics coming in the September timeframe. And so the idea is we're going to have solutions from across our whole portfolio offered as a service, and continue to add more and more to the portfolio over time, continue to refine and improve the whole experience, not just the solution itself, but how people are interacting with the actual trials and learning and going through the whole sales cycle. So we're spending a lot of time and making investments in terms of web analytics, and really understanding when people come to our website, you know, where are they going to, where are they spending most of their time, where are we seeing people drop off. And this is where marketing has become much more of a science, and we are becoming more and more data driven. And you know, this is a big part of the shift to digital marketing, and it requires new skills. I'm hiring people that, you know, 2 or 3 years ago I couldn't imagine having a need for, and it's pretty exciting. So we are calling this Service Engage. This is the piece of when you are in the cloud marketplace and go to the operations role, it brings you to an area called Service Engage, and this has been developed internally as part of Cloud and Smarter Infrastructure. And the idea being that the team was actually about 6 months or more ahead of the cloud marketplace development, and we didn't want to wait. So the team got out there, started developing, and over time we'll start to see these things merge together. We're not quite sure if Service Engage, the name stays, or if it just becomes part of the cloud marketplace. That's something we're working on figuring out in the next you know, couple of months, depending on how things evolve. Same thing, I mentioned our messaging, you know, much more aimed at our target audience. So we are starting to see some lift from IBM's cloud, investments, and so the cloud website, is starting to drive more traffic to, the solutions that we want to be able to market and sell. So that's always a good thing, and we're trying to do more and more of that. And even, where we're seeing great opportunities are through social media. So even if IBM is introducing a new advertisement or a new digital campaign, and maybe it's, at a high level cloud but doesn't really get into our solutions, we're still able to use that as an opportunity to, there's a lot of eyeballs, a lot of attention on what IBM is doing from a cloud perspective. How do we tap into that and turn it to look at our specific messaging and how we want to position our solutions. So it's on us, the CNSI marketing team and CNSI overall to figure out how we take advantage of that air cover, but it's something that we're excited about. And so now I want to just talk to you a little bit about Interconnect. So this is, in case you haven't heard, and maybe some of you probably haven't, it's fairly new. This is going to be the new, what they're calling mega conference, next February in Las Vegas. And so essentially, and I have only been given some early details. A lot of it is still being worked out, but you get the way it's being positioned is that it is really bringing together IBM Pulse, Impact, and Innovate into this one mega conference. There's still going to be a lot of elements of 3 separate conferences. My understanding, they're going to be in separate hotels. There are going to be certain elements that come together, or at least there's an opportunity to come together, things like the general sessions and the evening entertainment. But in terms of the business and technology tracks, we'll still have the, I don't want to say the same tracks, but, similar. And the only reason I say not the same is every year we evolve things, But just as we would have, if we were just doing Pulse 2015 without, being part of Interconnect, those are the tracks that you'll see showing up. So the point is, CNSI, Tivoli, we still have the ability to shape that part of the conference. It's just this bringing them all together into, this single, again, they're calling mega conference, and I don't know if that's something they're actually going to promote, but 20,000 plus attendees expected. Same thing that we've done in terms of business partner and executive summits, a massive expo floor, I imagine. And so, people have asked, why is IBM doing this and what are the benefits? And I think, there are pros and cons of doing something like this. Having the ability as more and more of technology is being integrated, and it's hard to have a discussion around just CNSI solutions without it going into, WebSphere and integration and even the developer components of that. There was more and more feedback that, we were being too silent. So you'll get both sides of the story. There are definitely within IBM clients, business partners who say, I want to go, I am there for enterprise asset management. That's what I want to learn about. I don't really care about, everything else that you guys are doing there. And we're going to try to appeal to that person and that audience. But there also, I think, that there is value in being able to put that into the big picture of how it fits into the rest of what IBM offers, the rest of, a lot of the issues that organizations are looking at. And so we're going to have to see how it works out. But I know there's a lot of excitement and also, some concerns, and being totally honest, that how are we going to manage something of this magnitude. But we are heading in that direction, February 22nd to 26th next year. It says here, MGM and Mandalay Bay. So for those of you familiar with Las Vegas, nothing is too close by. Those are quote unquote across the street from one another, but probably miles apart, kilometers apart. So we can certainly talk a bit more about this in a moment. I want to just come back to a little bit on the priorities, and then really for the second half, these keys to success. So I talked about Service Engage and our new SaaS solutions. Our big opportunity here is to emerge as the leader. We've established our leadership and our longstanding history of offering on-prem solutions. In the SaaS space, we have a lot to prove and a lot of ground to make up, but we believe once we really build up those capabilities, it'll be a powerful proposition to be able to offer our solutions either on-prem or as a service, and it's moving very quickly in that direction. We do have industry leadership across all product segments. That's one thing that, my first week on this job when I met with a few people and they would show this chart where it shows all of our product segments and all the industry leadership awards, all the Magic Quadrant and other rankings, and it is pretty impressive. This year alone, and even in the last 2 months, the FiberLink and Endpoint for mobility were the leaders in their quadrant. In storage, we were just part of the Magic Quadrant and named a leader. In APM, and I could go on, and it is pretty amazing. And I tell the team, a lot of our competitors, they can only hope for 1 or 2 of those types of leadership statements, and we need to do a better job of, driving that competitive message in the market. The FiberLink acquisition, I'm here today, as I mentioned. I think that we've started to do some good things integrating them with the IBM kind of sales and marketing engine, but we have a long way to go. I think that outside of North America, we need to, from a marketing perspective, do a lot of just awareness that people, since FiberLink was only a North America company, that we need to really help people understand what FiberLink is, the value that it brings, and it's part of IBM and what that means. Continue to drive business partner marketing campaigns, so how do we help our partners where they don't have marketing capabilities? And then, I wanted to end on this piece about client references and, spending more time with our clients. I personally want to do that, understand where we have opportunities to improve and, where we have great stories that we can help promote for the benefit of both the client and IBM. And with that, I thought that we could open up for some questions. And, I put a few things down here to help get us started if anyone has ideas about these. So either things that we could, report to you on a regular basis, the types of things that would be helpful for you to see and hear about, other topics that we could bring onto calls like this or, be able to share updates on even over email. And, in general, interaction, opportunities to meet with some of you and how that may work. And so with that, I'll open it up. And, Sarah, I'm not sure if the lines are just open or...
Yeah, they are. So if anyone's got any questions for Matt.
So hi, this is Franny, and I got a question sent to me via the chat. This is from Sam Gibson. And Sam was asking Matt if the team, the interconnect team, had ever given any thought to moving it to the East Coast, that it would make it easier for the Europe and Middle East customers to travel there. I know probably not, obviously not this February, but any thoughts around that?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of questions about that. I know, there's always questions about Las Vegas and why do we keep going there. The fact of the matter is it is really hard to get any space that can accommodate 20,000 people. And so, even though we've been there for the last several years with Pulse, and even there, this year we had over 10,000 and we were kind of busting at the seams. There really aren't many places that we can go that can accommodate that. And if it were, like on New York City, the expenses are just, so high that it would be difficult to do. So it's really a space and a cost decision. And I don't know how long we're locked in. Typically, IBM, sets up a multi-year contract to be able to, get a reduced price. I'm not sure if we've done that in this case, and it's something I could find out and share with the team. But I know that's been a common comment with Las Vegas.
Thanks, Matt. Any other questions from anyone on the call? I know quite a few of you joined as we started the presentation.
This is Jason with Davisco.
Hi, Jason.
Hello. One thing that I looked back at the previous years of the IBM Championship Program, and a comment I made within the Maximo realm, going to Ron and Mary, was a question on other resources for Champion to help, with the work that they're doing. And when you compare it or look to other programs similar to those within, Oracle or Microsoft, software access, those kind of things, because a lot of the work I've got to do is based on my employer's software, not something that I had at my disposal. And while I have, enjoy what I'm doing, promoting and helping others within the community on the Maximo and the Smart Cloud Control Desk software, the concerns I've had with others that were, looking at going into the program was doing that work essentially on a company's time versus my own time, my own resources and stuff like that. Has there been any thought of opening up some sort of door to allowing other software access for IBM Champion?
I'm not sure if I exactly understand the question. So, opening up access to other software. So you're talking about other parts of IBM?
It would be more like giving an IBM Champion like a developer's license, so that if I want to install Maximo on my own system at home to do my blogs and my webcasts and stuff, I'm doing it on my dime versus using my company system.
Gotcha. That's a very good question, and I don't know, Sarah, if you know any of the limitations or things that we've checked into in the past in terms of other benefits, I would say, that we can make available. Because, Jason, I completely agree. For everything that you guys do for us, we should be going out of our way to make it, so worth your while that you would never even doubt it. If anyone asked you, is this something I should do? It would be like, yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't believe how great this is. It's like, it should be, kind of like a, if it was American Express, being part of their premier program where you get all these benefits.
Okay,
It's
it's not something that I've seen being brought up yet, but I'm actually on a CrossBat brand champion call tomorrow. So I can bring that up, Jason, and get back to you on that. Because as Matt said, it's a great idea.
Yeah, because Sarah, what I would like to see is, I should know this, but what are the quote-unquote benefits to our champions, and can we reevaluate that, depending on what it is? But I would like to do that, and for the next call, be able to at least come back, and even if we say we're making no changes, but so you're all aware. But I know, having been part of the Champions program, as like I said, with WebSphere, I don't know that those things have been looked at in a number of years, and times have changed, and even with the ability to have easier access to software than it was several years ago, then maybe there are some new things and benefits we could look into.
Yeah. Definitely leave that with me, and Jason, I'll either update you before or we will have an update for the next call.
Perfect.
Okay, do we have any other questions for Matt?
All right, well,
I've got one more if there's nobody else going to talk. You talked about the conference in Vegas and some of the challenges with it, and I know the Maximo community has probably been one of the more vocal ones as far as I want to come see Maximo, and that's all I want to see, ultimately, from the history we had with some of the MRO software conferences. What we saw in the last couple of years is Pulse and now Interconnect being more of a strategic style meeting versus a tactical style meeting. And I guess that's, I just want to express, from the Maximo community, that's probably the concern we have as well, that, you're aware of it, but that we do see some of the shifts in the meeting or in the conference being a challenge to ultimately our bosses, and trying to say this is a conference worth attending because of the information we learned, the experiences that we get, and the shift from the tactical to the strategic has made some of those approvals a little more challenging for us, because we come back and say, okay, what did you learn? What did we glean? What can we use for our installation, our objectives for the next 12 to 18 months? And that shift from tactical to strategic, for most of the Maximo participants, that's been a bigger challenge now to talk to their bosses and say, I got what I wanted out of the conference. It was great. Please send me again next year. So I just wanted to reiterate that those are the concerns from the Maximo community that I heard in the last couple of years as well.
Oh yeah, and I fully appreciate that. And there's been no group more vocal than our internal Smarter Infrastructure Maximo team, even during the planning stages. For those of you who know George Ahn and others were jumping up and down when they were seeing some of the plans and presentations, and they were saying this is going to be bad and our clients aren't going to come back, and what are we going to do about it? And not to lay blame, I joined in late January. Things were off and running, and I think right up to Deepak, it's been it's probably been the biggest piece of negative feedback, and specifically that part of the business. And first of all, I think we are going to see a drop-off with those clients actually coming. But one thing we've talked about, one of the benefits of making this huge conference is, it actually is we're going to try to, we'll still have those big general sessions, and those are still going to be more on the strategic level. But from there on out, we are going to try to go back to more of the tracks and sessions that really appeal to a lot of the attendees, clients and business partners. And so bringing back a little bit more of the feel of the, user group and technical sessions, and helping making the case for attending is certainly something we're going to be keeping in mind. No promises that we're going to completely win that battle, but I think it shouldn't be a battle. I mean, if we are listening to our clients and we hear what people really want, we have to move in that direction. And so I know personally I'm going to be pretty vocal about it in the early days of planning. We did a whole piece of, analysis after Pulse, and that came right up to the very top of our document. We started with, while it was well attended, a lot of the feedback was that we shifted too much to this cloud strategy and isolated a lot of, our longtime clients and the ones who have come here year after year to learn more about our products, what they could do with it, and build their skills, all those things. So point taken. So with that, I do apologize. I have to get moving into this FiberLink meeting, but it was a pleasure speaking with all of you. You could get my email and contact information from Sarah. I'd welcome you to reach out anytime. And I really look forward to working with all of you, and appreciate everything you do again and the time you take to join calls like this.
Thanks, Matt. Welcome. Okay, everyone. So I first of all do apologise about the number, and the number having to change. I have had a few problems with this company that we've been using. So what I'm going to do moving forward is use the number that you dialed today, so my number from now on. Okay? And I'll send that out to everybody. I'll also post it up in our Global Council area, so that it's always there, so you've got it there. And today's slides, for those of you that couldn't get on SmartCloud, are already posted up in the council area. I'll send a link again to that after the call. Excuse me. next month for August, quite a few people are away, including myself. So the next call will be on the 3rd of September. So who said that?
Yes.
Yours.
So my holiday time. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, there's quite a few people out.
Can I ask you, this is Parul. I have a question for people like, I want to not talk about marketing with IBM new product and how they want to get into business. Only the problem with the support sometimes. Support is not really great. We have really frustrated the support people. Like I'm using TV Store Manager, and I have lots of problems sometimes to get to the next level for support. And sometimes I told them, why don't have IBM capability first to support the web access? Sometimes pictures is 1,000 words. Sometimes I see some problem won't show up on analog, but can show on the screen, and that's kind of frustrating to resolve some of the issues.
So, Parul, I think you mentioned this on a previous call as well. Would you mind dropping that just in an email to me? And
I will send it.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that we connect with the right people to
find
out what the issue is.
Yeah, no problem with that, because this is very frustrating to do day-to-day work, you know.
Sure.
Sarah, can you share that with the rest of us as well, so that everybody's aware of what the problem is? Because if others are seeing it, then we ought to be doing something about it or trying to help.
So what I'll do...
I will send an email to Sarah, so you can forward the email to you guys.
Yeah.
Well, what I'll do as well is I'll post it into... So you know we've got our secured council area? That's a secured area that you've all got access to. Why don't I post it in there, and then I can post it on the forum bit? And then when I get a reply, I can post it on there rather than sending everyone emails. Would that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah, going back, so it's Andrew here. I joined late, hence I didn't ask any questions at the end. Sorry about that.
I was surprised.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything embarrassing in case you'd been through it in detail and I'd missed it.
Right.
So, question on the timing for the next one. Jos groans because he can't make it, and then you said a few people couldn't make the September one.
No, it's just August. Just the August one.
It's just the August one. I thought Jos was moaning about
not
being able to make the September.
I'm not able to join the September one.
You can't join the September one?
No.
I have a meeting.
Or it's just for a week later.
Yeah. Can we do...
Sarah,
we push it back a week?
When is this, on what date is the September one planned?
The 3rd.
I can do it on the 10th.
Okay. Would the 10th be better for everybody?
The 10th is better for me as well. I have a meeting which I cannot miss on the 3rd.
Okay. Is that okay with everyone? Is that a problem for anybody if I change it to the 10th?
No, I think September 10th will be because September I won't be available because of long weekend.
Okay.
This is Jerry. I have no problem with the 10th.
Okay.
I'm good with either. This is Karen.
Thanks. Perfect. So I'll change that today and send that out, and we will be using my number from today so we don't have problems in the future. I just want to give Franny an opportunity to speak to you guys, because you've been working with her, obviously, for, is it 3 years, Franny, now?
About 2.5 years.
2.5. Just, Franny's got an announcement to make to you guys. I'll hand over to you, Franny.
Yeah, so my next one. I, as of August 1st, I'm leaving the tech and will no longer be your civil user community manager. So I will miss you guys, and I'll be 6 a.m. I love these 6 a.m. calls. I'm desperately going to miss them. Maybe I'll just keep joining.
You can join anyway. You don't have to be.
I will. And I'm still in Vegas, too.
If you come to conference, at least you come to conference.
I am. I'm still going to come to the conference. Sarah's already said that I could, and just hang out with her. So I'm starting a new business. I'm going to be doing something completely different, doing some in-home non-medical health care for seniors and older adults that want to stay in their home and need some care and companionship. So complete 180. I'm leaving technology, but I'm here until August 1st, and I'm going to come back and help Sarah with for about a week or so when she returns from holiday. So I'm around, but I just wanted to tell you guys and let you know I've enjoyed meeting all of you and being on these calls, and wish you all the best of luck and continued success and fun with the tech.
So I have to move to Denver to get your health care. Okay.
Right. As soon as to Denver, I'll take care of you.
It is in Denver area, right?
Say that again?
It will be in Denver area, right?
I am in Denver. That's right.
Everyone's moving to Denver now, Franny.
I'm gonna move in Denver. I'm old. I want some.
Aww. And it's really sad that we're losing Franny, and we thank you very much for all you've done for all of us,
Yes,
Franny.
thank you, Franny.
Okay.
Thanks, Franny.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Franny.
And even though it's really sad, I'm sure we all, wish you well in your new venture, and obviously you'll be in touch with some of us anyway, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
We will miss you.
Yes, we will. So I don't have an announcement just yet to let you guys know who our new community manager is. I'm talking with Franny's boss, and most of you have met him, Rod, later today or tomorrow. And as soon as I get an answer, then I'll come back to you guys.
Okay.
But was there any other questions from anyone on the call today? So nearly at the top of the hour. No? So what I will do is I'll send out an email just shortly after this call with the links to our area, and when I get Pearl's email, I'll share it with everybody. And then hopefully, if we've got it on the group drive as well, you guys can have discussions between yourselves rather than just getting lost in email, okay?
Okay. See you guys.
Okay.
And I'll change that date till the 10th. So thank you, everyone. Have a great summer.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.